Emeline D. Rivera, one of the member of Group 2, and I'm going to tackle about the background of Jose Rizal, his nationalism, socio-political, and lastly, about the political system. So, come to know Jose Rizal. His real name is Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Realonda. Born on June 19, 1861 in Calamba, Philippines. He died December 30, 1896 in Manila. He is a patriot, physician, and man of letters who was an inspiration to the Philippines nationalist movement. He also was a multifaceted intellectual and a political activist, best known for his political writing. And lastly, Jose Rizal in 1861 and 1896, one of the most revered figure in Philippine history. Nationalism. It began in the late 18th century or early 19th century with the American Declaration of Independence or with the French Revolution. The Spanish colonial period of the Philippines began when explorer Ferdinand Magellan came to the island in 1521. Lastly is the political system. So, political system, Governor General held the following. First, supreme authority in the economic and financial dealings of the country. Second, in 1784, acquire a portion of the Intendant General's power. Third, executive and judicial power extended up to the legislative processes. Fourth, had power to suspend local laws or any decree coming from the Spain. Fifth, led the royal judicial known as Supreme Court, which lasts until 1861. Seventh, depicted also in the field of religion, given the privilege to select a priest who would occupy a certain position in the church and society. So, next, administration of justice, disciplinary powers which were often weak because of biases and decisions made through impulse. Such power was executive in the Philippines to the Ministro de Ultramar or known as Ministry of the Colonies, established in Madrid in 1863. So, through Ministro de Ultramar, the Philippines affairs were governed in accordance with the will of the Spanish monarchy. Its duty also was to report to the King of Spain. So, as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, he held the civil guards and all government officials in the Philippines. So, the Philippines centralized system put governance in the hands of one person, the Governor-General, who moved in accordance with the mandate of the Spanish government. Lieutenant General or General Segundo Cabo assisted the Governor General with regard to the matters of the nation. So, in 1874, the Secretariat of the Central Government was made to further assist the Governor General and his growing power board of authorities advised the Governor General on matter raised to them. So, Council of Administration was being heard with regards to the administrative agenda. Next, Secretariat of the Council of Government was made to further assist the Governor General in 1874. Directorate of the Civil Administration was being introduced by the central government later on with a bigger body of administrative advisors. Lastly, the national or central government was followed by the operating hierarchy of governance starting at the top, which was the provincial government known as Alcalde.
Good day everyone, I am Rich Alidela and El Gaspar and I'm going to discuss the social, culture, economic development and the rise of the Filipino nationalism and educational system.
Social culture. In 19th century Philippines, society was stratified into three classes: highest class, middle class, and lowest class. Highest class, these are the people who have the power and authority to rule over the Filipinos. They enjoyed their positions and do whatever they want. People involved are the Spaniards or Spanish officials, Peninsulares, and friars. Peninsulares are the Spaniards who were born in Spain. They held the most important government jobs and made up the smallest number of population. Friars are the members of any certain religious order of men, especially the four mendicant orders: Augustinians, Jesuits, Dominicans, and Franciscans. Middle class are the native or the pure Filipinos, and the mestizos are the Filipinos of mixed indigenous Filipinos or European or Chinese ancestry. Lowest class are the Indios. This includes Filipinos only. They are the native or pure Filipinos. The Indios are the poor people having pure blood. Filipinos which ruled by the Spaniards. Economic development and the rise of Filipino nationalism. Factors contributed to the development of Filipino nationalism. First, opening the Philippines to the international trade and the rise of the middle class. Influx of European liberalism. Opening the Suez Canal on November 17, 1869. Spanish Revolution of 1869 and the liberal regime of Carlos Maria de la Torre in 1869 to 1871. Rafael de Izquierdo, 1871 to 1873, the Cavite Mutiny of 1872, and the execution of Gomburza on February 17, 1872, Cavite Mutiny on January 20, 1872, and Gomburza fought for the Filipinization of Farishes and champions of liberalism and humanitarianism.
In the educational system, during the late 18th and early 19th centuries, there was an absence of academic freedom, prejudice against Filipinos in the schools of higher learning, and the friars controlled the educational system in the Philippines, and they were able to own different schools comprising from the primary level to the tertiary levels of education.
Good day everyone, I am Christian Armanalo and I am from 3A BSN Mathematics. So for today, I am going to discuss to you the 11 colonial power. There are 11 colonial power. The first one is the instability of colonial administration year 1808 to 1833. In this year, there is frequent shift of policies in Spain because of the turbulent reign of King Ferdinand. In the year 1835 to 1897, the 50 Governor-General serves an average term of only 1 year and 3 months. The second evil colonial power is the corrupt colonial officials, where there are 4 Governor-Generals who reign in their different year and term. It's either they are highly corrupt, incompetent, cruel, or venal. General Rafael Izquierdo, year 1871 to 1873. He is a boastful and ruthless Governor-General. The following are the generals who are corrupt colonial officials. The first one is Admiral Jose Malcampo. He is inept and weak administrator Governor-General. year 1874 to 1877. He is also a good moral fighter who participates in politics as a seaman. The second one is General Fernando Primo de Rivera, year 1880 to 1883 and 1897 to 1898, a venal governor who serves almost two terms. The third one is General Valeriano Weyler, 1888 to 1891, a cruel and corrupt governor-general of Hispanic German ancestry. The last one is General Camilo de Polavieja, year 1896 to 1897, an able militarist but heartless governor-general. The third colonial power is no Philippines representation. In Spanish Cortes, representation of the overseas colonies in the Spanish Cortes was abolished in 1837. There are Delegate Ventura de los Reyes, year 1810, who holds that distinction as the first Philippine legislator. Human rights denied to Filipinos. The people of Spain enjoyed freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom in association, and other human rights except of religion. Fifth one is no equality before the law. Filipinos were abused, brutalized, persecuted, and slandered. Spanish Civil Code imposed. Spanish missionaries taught all men irrespective of colors and race are children of God and such they are brother equal before God and not before the law in practice. The sixth one is the maladministration of justice. Here, in this colonial power, the court of justice were notoriously corrupt. The justice was costly, partial, and slow. Juan de la Cruz, year 1886 to 1886, June 8, was arrested on mere suspicion of murder. And in this colonial power, year 1872, execution of Gombursa happened. And on December 30, 1896, is when Dr. Jose Rizal was executed. The seventh one is the racial discrimination. So in this colonial power, the Spain introduced Christianity to egalitarian concept of the brotherhood of all men under the God the Father. And then the Spaniards, they received called brown-skinned and flat-nosed Filipinos or Indios, lacked of opportunities for educated Filipinos. The eighth one is Philocracy, also called the rule of friar. A notorious invisible government existed in Spanish Philippines. Friars are Agustinians, Dominic, and Franciscans. Controlled the religious and educational life of the Philippines, and later in the 19th century, they also controlled the government from governor-general down to the alcalde's mayor. There is also a union of church and state. So here are the three friars: Archbishops Francisco de la Cuesta, Manuel Rojo del Rio, and Juan Arquedera. The ninth one is the forced labor. In the year 1883, July 8, the royal decree changing the system of polo y servicio is issued. So the Filipino males from 16 to 60 years old were obliged to render forced for labor in 40 days a year. And then the Filipinos received only a part of 2 pesetas, which is 50 centavos or worse, nothing. The Filipinos are forced to separate on their families to work on some shops. The second to the last colonial power is the hacienda owned by the friars. 1768, Governor Ande recommends to the Madrid governor the sale of the friar state. The friars owned the best hacienda. In the year 1887, Rizal tried to initiate agrarian in 1887. Rizal, in his indolence of Filipino in the substance, opined the friars' own ownership of the best agricultural tract and land contribute to the stagnation of economy. The last colonial power is Guardia Civil. It was created of Royal Decree February 12, 1852. It was also the one who maintained the internal peace and order in the Philippines. in this colonial power, the maltreatment, abuse, robbers, and rapists happened. And then, Rizal Noli exposed the Guardia Civil in this 11 colonial power.